What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one, we are going to be looking at my Game Week 16 team selection as we look to continue our amazing form. It is now 5 green arrows in a row, and right now it's looking like I cannot be stopped. No one can stop me from getting these green arrows. As you guys know, we are currently sitting at a rank of 450k, and the push for a top 50k finish is well and truly on. And to be honest with you, I might even change the target. I'm feeling a little bit greedy. I might even change it to a target of a top 10k finish. Why not? Go big or go home, as they say. And listen, I'm feeling very confident for the future with this game. So listen, man, as you guys know, we managed to get a score of 63 points in Game Week 15, which was very good. Shout out to the man himself, the main man, the star man of this team this game week, Bruno Fernandes, man. Bruno. He came from Sporting like Cristiano. He came in clutch with a huge 18-pointer against Wolves, man. Absolutely sensational stuff. Really happy, especially because I only just bought him in the game before Wolves as well. So yeah, to just get that many points from Bruno so quick, oh man, it felt so sweet. I'm not gonna lie, it felt so sweet. So yeah, shout out to Phil Foden as well, who came in clutch with another double-digit haul. I keep on saying it, man. Hands down, he's been the best transfer I've made so far this season. Absolutely sensational. And what's even better is that so many FPL managers are scrambling to get to bring Phil Foden in their team. He's risen so much in price. Like, I got Phil Foden at 8 million. I think now at the time of recording, he's costing FPL managers 8.6 million, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, man, things are looking good at the moment. Of course, I did get a bit lucky. I hold my hands up, right? I hold my hands up. I did get a little bit lucky this week. But listen, you need a bit of luck in FPL. We did actually manage to get Senesi off the bench for Danny Munoz, who wasn't in the squad for Crystal Palace, which got me, yeah, just a lovely 8-pointer, man, which I needed. I can't lie, I needed that, chat. So yeah, man, just really happy with this game week overall. It was sensational, man. Brian Mbeumo getting on the score sheet as well. Captain Haaland flopping is not great. Obviously, bum boy Jean-Philippe Mateta, another stinker and hooked performance from him. 2 points, missing a great chance, a really good chance against Fulham. But to be fair, as you guys already know, I've sold the absolute fraud, so we don't have to deal with this absolute bum Mateta anymore. Good riddance. You will not be missed. Simple as that, bro. But yeah, listen, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Game Week 15. As you already know, we do post the post Game Week reaction video every week, so if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But to summarize, we absolutely smashed it in Game Week 15. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and look at my team selection for Game Week 16, as we do have a lot of things to discuss. Alright guys, so let's have a look at my team selection for Game Week 16. And just to let you guys know, I have actually already used 2 of my 5 free transfers, and I do actually plan on using at least 1 or 2 more. Now my head is a little bit scrambled right now. It's a little bit all over the place because genuinely, because of the fact that we've got 5 free transfers, right, there's just so many different paths, so many different avenues I can take, and I just want to make sure I do get it right. But let's have a talk about it, and let's have a look at my team as it stands right now. So listen, we'll start with the back line. In goal, we've got David Raya, and then we do have a back three of Yuri and Timber, who I just bought in, Danny Munoz and Anderson. On the bench, currently we do have Senesi and Rodon. So this is currently what my defensive structure looks like. But as I said, right, I do plan to use another 1 or 2 more of my free transfers, and one of the transfers I want to make is actually taking out Senesi and going to triple Arsenal defense and bringing in Hincapié, right? That's what I want to do. I want to bring in Hincapié and go to triple Arsenal defense and have David Raya, Yuri and Timber, and Hincapié. Now listen, hold on for a second, because I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, here he goes again, stupid FPL Ryan making dumb decisions. Listen, hear me out for a second, right? Don't shoot the messenger. I actually think this is the play, and it's something I want to do, and it's something I would keep for like pretty much the entire season. Like, let's be honest, guys, right? Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just get back to basics. Who is the best defense in the league? It's Arsenal. Right, it is Arsenal. Arsenal are clearly by far the best defense in the league. No doubt, no questions asked, right? They are hands down the best defensive team in the league. And to be honest with you, right, most FPL managers feel comfortable going for double off Arsenal defense anyway. So adding just one more Arsenal defender, is it really that bad? Some might say, oh, but it's too risky. But really, is it really that risky when most of us are on double Arsenal defense anyway? Realistically, it's just an extra one Arsenal defender, in this case Nketiah versus, I don't know, a Virgil van Dijk, for example, or versus a Senesi, for example, or versus a Brighton defender or a Brentford defender. That's all it really is in the grand scheme of things, because most people have double Arsenal defense anyway, right? And to be honest, like I said, when I just like ask myself again, who's the best defense? It's Arsenal, right? So long term, I think it can work. I really do think it can work, and Nketiah can just be a placeholder for Gabriel. So as soon as Gabriel comes back, bang, I make that transfer, Nketiah to Gabriel, and then I'd eventually have Gabriel, Timber and Raya, and I don't mind it. Long term, I don't mind it, guys. Some of you might say, oh, but in the short term, it's too risky because there's no Gabriel, there's no Saliba. I'm going to be honest, guys. Listen, to be fair, Saliba is expected to be back for this Wolves game. But if he's not, right, if he's not back, let's just say Saliba's still injured. I'm going to be honest, I still think the Arsenal defence is more than capable, right, of keeping a lot of clean sheets. I still think this Arsenal defence, without Saliba, without Gabriel, is the best in the league. I'm going to be honest, guys. And listen, a lot of people are going to look at Arsenal's recent results, right? They're going to look at the Aston Villa game. They're going to look at the Chelsea game and say they were really poor defensively. But let's be real here, guys, right? Aston Villa away, Arsenal have always struggled there. Always struggled against Aston Villa, even with Gabriel and even with Saliba, right? Chelsea away, no matter what, it's always going to be a relatively tough game. So again, a clean sheet going away to Chelsea, it's not a given, right? It's not a given. So I'm looking at the recent results with that Arsenal have had without Saliba and Gabriel, and they actually got a win against Brentford and a clean sheet as well against Brentford, who we'd expect them to get a clean sheet against anyway. So in the one game, right, where they were expected to get a clean sheet without Gabriel and Saliba, they got it, right? Because I think even with, as I said, with Gabriel, with Saliba, would you really be confident in a clean sheet away to Aston Villa? Like, again, it's not a given, right? So these results that I've seen in the past few games with Arsenal, without Saliba and without Gabriel, it doesn't faze me. It doesn't faze me because I still think, right, Arsenal, when you talk about their defensive structure, it is by far the best in the league. And I look at the games coming up, right? Wolves at home, Everton away, right? Brighton at home, Villa at home, Bournemouth away. I think they're just good fixtures. And to be fair, like I said, when you're bringing in double Arsenal defence or triple Arsenal defence, they're season keepers, right? So I'm not even just thinking about short term. I want long term moves, right? And long term, I'm more than happy to go for triple Arsenal defence. So that's why, guys, I'm going to go most likely for Nketiah. Like, I'm 99% sure on that one, on that move. Now, one thing I will say, right, by going for Nketiah and by going for triple Arsenal defence, what that means is that I cannot go for Declan Rice, and that's the only slight issue I've got. However, what I will say is I've been thinking about Declan Rice and I like him. I think he's a great pick, no doubt about it. I really do think Declan Rice is a great pick. Now, the only reason I'm starting to I'm starting to get an increased amount of doubt about Rice, and that's because he's not trained but due to illness, right? So he's not going to be in the Champions League squad either. And I'm just thinking, if he's ill, if he's sick, if he's not able to train, he's not able to at least be in the squad for the Arsenal game, I'm really starting to think, is there a possibility that we see Declan Rice get benched? Now, listen, I could just be talking out my arse here, right? I could be waffling. I could be chatting a load of absolute shite, and that's fair enough. But I'm just trying to relay my thoughts to you guys, and I'm honestly starting to think that there is a decent chance Declan Rice does get a rest against Wolves. Now, he's played every Premier League game so far this season, so because he's ill at this moment in time, because he hasn't trained yet at the time of recording, obviously he could actually train later this week, maybe he trains on Friday, I don't know, right? But as it stands, he's not trained. He's not going to be in the squad for the Champions League game against Bruges. And Wolves at home are, honestly, my lord, they are one of the worst teams in Premier League history at this moment in time. They are absolutely awful, right? So there is no need, there is no pressure on Arteta to play Declan Rice this week. Could we see Declan Rice get benched? Maybe also play midfield, and they play more of an attacking midfield, and maybe they play Eze and Odegaard in midfield with Zubimendi in the 6. I think we could see that midfield. So maybe Martinelli starts out wide, Saka on the right, Marino or Gyökeres in the 9 role, and then Eze, Odegaard and Zubi-Doo in midfield. I could see that happening because at the end of the day, there's no pressure on Declan Rice to play this game because, as I said, Wolves are absolutely shocking. So because I think in my mind as well that Rice potentially could experience a bench in this game against Wolves, it's making me lean into going triple Arsenal defence even more. And like I said, man, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. And I think one more thing I want to say on triple Arsenal defence, guys, right, is when you look at the short-term fixtures, right, when you look at sort of the next 4 games, 3 of the next 4 games for Arsenal is at at home at the Emirates, right? So that's really, really good because we know how strong Arsenal are at the Emirates, right? They've only conceded, I believe, 1 goal at home so far this season, which is absolutely insane. And guess what that goal was? It was a Richarlison. Actually, no, they've actually conceded 2 goals at home, sorry. My bad, because I think Erling Haaland did score. So they conceded 1 goal to Erling Haaland, who's the best number 9, one of the best number 9s in world football. And the other goal was just a crazy long shot from Richarlison, where 9 times out of 10, it doesn't go in, right? So 2 goals at home in like 7 or 8 games is just, yeah, ridiculous, right? Ridiculous only concede 2 goals at home. So we know how good defensively Arsenal are at home. I'm not going to lie, man. Listen, I think I'm going to do it. I've not confirmed the transfer yet because obviously I'm recording this before Arsenal playing the Champions League. So I just need to make sure there's no injury to Nketiah or anything like that. But assuming everything goes to plan, Nketiah will be the one that I do bring in, man. And I'm more than happy to go for triple Arsenal defense, man. I really am. So yeah, my defense with that transfer made would actually mean Munoz goes to the bench. Obviously, I remove Senesi, bring in Nketiah, and Nketiah goes into the starting 11. So my defense this week would be Raya, Timber, Nketiah, and Anderson. And on paper, that does look pretty good. So yeah, more than happy to do that, to be honest with you guys, chat. I'm not going to lie, but let me know down below in the comments, right? What do you guys think of that in terms of, you know, triple Arsenal defense? Do you think it's a waste? Like, I get it, it might not be some people's cup of tea, but honestly, I think that what the main issue is as well for me is that if I don't go for this Arsenal defender, there's just no other defender that really, like, impresses me or convinces me. Like, I could go for Van den Berg and Rice, for example, so I could pick Rice in midfield and go Van den Berg instead of Senesi, but I'm just not, like, Brentford have had 2 clean sheets all season. And I know they got Leeds and Wolves next, but can I really trust the Brentford defence? It just doesn't really feel like I can. It just doesn't really feel like I can, man. So, listen, play your own way. That's all I'll say, man. And I'm more than happy to play my own way. I'm feeling very confident in my decision making. And I feel like this could be the play, man. I feel like this could be the play. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, enough of the waffling on about the defence, guys. Let's move on into the midfield. And in midfield, we do have Phil Foden, Anton Semenyo, Brian Mbumo, Bruno. And we also do have Yakoba Minte. And up front, we do have Thiago, who are also just brought in for Mateta. And we do have Erling Haaland. Now, first things first, what I want to talk about is, where do I start? Captaincy or my transfer? No, let's talk about my transfer. Now, listen, this is where my head is a bit scrambled, and this is where I just don't know what to do. Now, I've got 2 options, right? I keep Minte or I sell Minte. Now, if I sell Minte, the player most likely I'm going to bring in is going to be Harry Wilson. So, do I do Minte to Harry Wilson, or do I just save the extra transfer and go into and basically only use 3 of my 5 free transfers and then go into Gameweek 17 with 3 free transfers? Or do I be a bit more aggressive and take out Minte, because I've not really been impressed with Minte, and I never was, like, I know I just bought in Minte, but to be honest with you guys, like, if you watch my video, you would probably be able to tell I was never really convinced fully of Minte, and I always had my doubts. And after watching that Brighton vs West Ham game, it just really put me off Minte a lot. And a strong part of me does want to sell him. Now, if I was to sell him, it would be to go to Harry Wilson as a short-term punt. Of course, Burnley away is the next game. Then after that, it's Nottingham Forest at home. And then after that, it's West Ham away. It would be, like, more or less a short-term pick. But I feel like it's a pick that has potential. But at the same time, I'm just thinking, look, you guys can probably tell, my head's scrambled. I don't know. Like, the thing is, I've made a lot of silly mistakes, picking players like Paqueta, for example, picking players like Minte, who I believe is a mistake. And now, going for someone like Harry Wilson, it feels like another one of those just terrible picks. But at the same time, it feels like a pick that could actually pay off because the fixture is so good, and because the Fulham, like, you know, Iwobi's going to AFCON, Chukwuezi's going to AFCON, so his minutes are going to be good in these games. So it feels like a pick that could work, but it feels like a pick that could absolutely just flop massively, and I just don't really know what to do. Is it worth a transfer? I don't know. Like, Minte for me, like, when I watched that game against West Ham, bro, it was like he was playing almost like a wing back, bro. He was so deep. His starting position, like it was just so deep. It was like he was playing right wing back, and I just I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not really convinced. Of course, Brighton have really good fixtures. They do. Like, Liverpool away, with the way Liverpool are playing this season, it's a pretty decent game, a decent fixture. After that, they've got Sunderland at home, and then after that, they got Arsenal away. But given the way my team structure is, I can actually bench him for the Arsenal game, and then they've got West Ham and Burnley. So the long-term fixtures are there for Brighton, but I'm just not really convinced with Minte as a pick, man. And to be honest, I think I'm going to be a bit aggressive, and we're going to have to wait until the deadline, because I don't know what I'm going to do, but I feel like I'm going to be a bit more aggressive this week and just go for it, go big or go home, and just basically go for Harry Wilson. With that being said, I also want to speak on captaincy, because I know a lot of FPL managers. Now, I could be screwed here, because of course there is no Bukayo Saka in my team, and I think a lot of FPL managers who have got Bukayo Saka in the FPL team are probably going to go for him as captain. I'm expecting Bukayo Saka to get a good rest against Club Brugge. Probably doesn't even step on the pitch, right? I wouldn't be surprised if he gets no minutes in that game at all. So I expect Saka to start. I expect him to get good minutes against Wolves at home, and therefore I expect a lot of FPL managers who have Saka in their team to captain him, right? So with that being said, I could, because other FPL managers are taking a risk and not going for Haaland, I also could take a risk and not go for Haaland, and I could go for either Bruno Fernandes or Bryan Mbeumo, or even Igor Thiago against these at home. However, I don't know if I want to captain a United player, because I just don't know what United is going to turn up. I still don't think we can be trusted fully with like captaining our players. So yeah, I just don't think I'll be going for Bruno or Bryan Mbeumo, as much as I do like the good fixture they have. So I think right now it's between Thiago or Erling Haaland, and I think I'm just going to stick on Erling Haaland. Right now it's on Erling Haaland, and I think I'm just going to keep it there. Honestly, people are looking at this game against Crystal Palace away as a tough fixture, but actually, I don't, like, in recent weeks, I've been watching Crystal Palace and I haven't been too convinced with their defensive performance. I feel like they have looked pretty open. I feel like they have looked pretty vulnerable. And I do see the element of fatigue creeping in, because they've had so many games, right? Week in, week out. Like every 3-4 days, Crystal Palace are playing games, and I think it is catching up to them. And I actually think in recent weeks, defensively, they haven't looked amazing, right? I think Fulham created chances, Burnley created chances. A lot of teams have been creating good quality chances against them. And I feel like Man City actually will win this game pretty convincingly, and I do expect Haaland to be involved in the goals, and therefore I think I'm just going to stick it on Haaland, man. I really do. So yeah, as I said, like the United players, Thiago, they do have good fixtures on paper, right? And it is tempting to go for them, but I actually think Erling Haaland is the play here. Of course, Crystal Palace do play in the Conference League on Thursday as well, so again, just that element of fatigue there, I could see it being a big factor. And you know, like Palace have players that are injured. There's no Ismaila Sarr as well. That's going to affect them. I just think Erling Haaland is the one. I don't really want to overthink it here. I think I just want to go for Erling Haaland and sort of just play it safe, especially because, right, I don't have Saka at all, and Saka could punish me. He really could punish me this week. So yeah, I think I'd rather just back the big man, back the robot, back the machine that is Erling Haaland, and hopefully he gets a couple of goals during a week where most FPL managers, I assume, will be going against Erling Haaland, right? So yeah, I think I'm just going to go for Erling Haaland this week, really. I could change my mind. Who knows? Maybe I do go to like a Bryan Mbeumo or a Bruno Fernandes or Igor Thiago. I could change my mind, but right now I think, yeah, Erling Haaland really is the one. So yeah, Man City of course do have a big Champions League game against Real Madrid tonight as well, so we'll have to see what happens there. Hopefully there's no injuries or anything like that, but I do expect Phil Foden to start as well, so yeah, hopefully he can deliver. But I think right now, in terms of my long-term plans, right, Foden is going absolutely nowhere. Haaland, of course, is going absolutely nowhere. Bruno Fernandes is going absolutely nowhere. Like, yeah, he's locked in. Thiago's going absolutely nowhere. Another long-term hold. Anton Semenyo as well, another player I want to speak about. He's going absolutely nowhere, man. Absolutely nowhere. I think Semenyo's been very unlucky in recent weeks. I think we have to all admit that, guys. Like, some of you guys might think I was stupid for keeping Semenyo, but honestly, as much as the outcome might not have been great, I just think, like, I've been super unlucky to not get some FPL points from Anton Semenyo in recent weeks, man. I mean, going all the way back to the Aston Villa game, he missed a penalty, and then of course he was injured that 1 week, and then, you know, he could have returned against Sunderland if it wasn't for Evan missing chances. He could have returned against Chelsea if it wasn't for Evan missing quality chances. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous. You know, it is absolutely ridiculous. He got a goal as well against Chelsea that was disallowed. Like, we are getting close to points, right? To my fellow Semenyo owners, right? The points are coming. The points are coming. And I just think Anton Semenyo, going into this Christmas period, you're going into this fixture congestion period, he's a guaranteed starter, 90-minute man. I've got no reason to sell him for me. No reason to sell him. And I think United away is actually a really good fixture. The United defence is not good at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if Semenyo can do something in this game. And then after the United game, it's Burnley at home. and then Brentford, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Honestly, I don't mind keeping Semenyo. As I said, I'm putting such high value on guaranteed starters and 90-minute men, and Semenyo is exactly that. And like I said, I feel like he's been looking pretty dangerous, pretty threatening in recent weeks, and is getting really, really unlucky to not have returned, right? So I just feel like the points are coming. In my opinion, he's looking like an FPL asset waiting to explode, and I will be there. I will be there for that double-digit haul, because honestly, I think Semenyo is quite a streaky player, and I feel like sooner or later that bit of form it's gonna come. It's going to come, and I'll be there for that. More than you can believe, guys. More than you can believe. So, yeah, Semenyo is going nowhere. I'm more than happy to hold him. So, yeah, realistically, I'd just say Mbeumo's going to get sold after this game against Bournemouth, right? Because, obviously, he's going off to AFCON, and there is a decent chance I sell Minte for Harry Wilson this week. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my defensive structure overall. Like, Hincapié, as long as he doesn't get injured, he's going to get... I'm going to buy him. I'm going to buy him if he doesn't get injured. So, yeah, very, very happy with my team, very, very happy with my structure, and very happy with my plans moving forward. So yeah, man, that's how my team does look currently for game week 16. Let me know what you guys do think of it down below in the comments, and let me know what you guys do think of my triple Arsenal defensive strategy. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know what you guys do think down below. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I'm going to end it here. Make sure to smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel as well so you never miss an upload. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. But until then, I'm out. Peace.